Just to get the Cowboys 2 good games to hopefully understand that they need to go receiver and go high with this next pick.
Yeah, yeah, that's really what this is gonna be about.
All right. You're looking live at Generation. I'm sorry, I keep doing that. Father and Son Cowboys and Sports Talks. My name is Julian. I'm the host, aka DJ Jules. DJ, I tell you what, aka Jules. I'm joined with my co-host, Cowboy Joe, also known as Cowboy Joe 64 on Twitter. And we're back with another one. We're gonna preview the Cowboys Panthers and just drop a few nuggets and talk a few talking points about what we think about this upcoming game. You want to say what's up to the people, and I'll let you jump it off and say what you're gonna be looking at, and and what determines if we do good or not in this game.
What's up, people? Appreciate you guys joining. So, Carolina Panthers, right out the top rope, got to deal with their running game. So, Sunday, we didn't really do a good job with the running game. They gashed us right up the middle. So, Rico kind of had an outlier game, Rico Dado. So, that's going to be our focus this week. I mean, it's really simple. Just keeping it simple. Every week we play, it's going to be about can you stop the run. I don't even think it's about can we defend the pass anymore. We're gonna figure that out loud, but it's just gonna come back down to can we stop the run, and it's gonna kind of go from there.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the season, we always, based off of how 2023 went, we knew that this is like gonna be like what we call a front run team. What's going on, Ken? Appreciate you for joining. So this is what we know. This team is like a front run team. You outscore your opponents, get them out of running the ball, and they start getting pass happy. We pin our ears back and rush the quarterback. We get pressure. They throw sacks. They throw interceptions. That was the 2023 model. Of course, we don't have Michael Parsons anymore, so our pressure has took a dip. But we had that kind of figured as the way that this team would win, being that they really didn't have a strong defense. Finished defense last in the league last year. We're last in the league this year. We didn't really get better when we got rid of Micah, but a few things have changed. Really, our offense has changed. It changed for the better, and with our offense changing, we also got better coaching on offense, and it's just a good thing that our head coach is also our offensive coordinator, and he's part of those coaches that are a plus to this team. So the fact that Shotty is our head coach, that gives us hope on the defense because he has control over the whole team, and he's a leader. So basically, I said that to say this: like, Shotty knows that. Like you could tell, like okay, last week my dad said, and also Brother said, everybody said this is going to be a coaching game. We're going to see if we got real coaches on this game last week because it was clear what we needed to do. We needed to stop Justin Fields from running, and we needed to stop Brees Hall from running, and we need to score points fast, and we needed to, we need to score points fast, and we needed to stop them from running the ball, and we need to get them out of running the ball, and that's exactly what they did. So this is going to be a classic, another game where you coaching. It's different from 2023, in my opinion, because we have better coaching. So in 2023, that just happened to be what was happening. That we was outscoring teams, and that just happened to be what was happening. But I feel like now that we have better coaching, it's going to be a point. It's going to be like, this is the game plan. The game plan is to, like, for instance, if we win the coin toss, I would fully expect Shotty to take the ball first. Or if he does take the ball in the second half, he has a reason for it. You know what I mean? Like for instance, like we've scored in the last minute of every half for the last 2 games. So Shotty would look at that and say, that's what we plan on doing. We plan on milking the clock the last 7 minutes, letting them get them off the field, and then right within the last minute score a touchdown, and then come back out and score a touchdown, and the game should be over. So that's the kind of thing that Shotty be doing. So I think that, yeah. Stopping the run is gonna be key. But I feel like, I feel like our coaches are better than their coaches. I feel like our offense is better than their offense. And I feel like our defense, the only thing this game relies on is if we can stop them from running the ball and get them off the field. If we can get them off the field consecutively a couple times, this game will be over quick. If not, we're gonna be in a shootout.
So yeah, it's kind of like the Chicago game is always kind of lurking in the background because what you just said that really fit for the Chicago game, but we couldn't get them off the field. And at one point, they drove the ball for 10 minutes. So I think you're right. It's just going to come down to they won't be able to keep up with us if they have to just keep scoring. I mean, they don't have that kind of team. But yeah, we're gonna have to have some three and outs, some six and outs. We can't let them drive. And with Dak, I'm pretty confident now that whatever way he's playing with this offense, he's always going to have a chance to get back in rhythm. Defensively, you just have keep getting him the ball, and if you do that, they'll figure out how to get the ball down the field and score.
Yeah, and then Xavier Leggett, Roy McMillan. To me, those are the
You,
kind of receivers that
you likely get coming out of college, right?
he was a baller coming out of college. He a
L-
baller now.
LSU.
I thought he went to. I didn't think he went to LSU. Nah, he didn't go to LSU. If he would have,
Oh,
if he went to LSU, he would have been with Kyron Lacey
okay.
and the quarterback for the Commanders. If he went to LSU, I think he went to like Ole Miss or something like that. If I'm not
So
mistaken.
so they got two good receivers then because they got him and Ted. So that's
Yeah,
going to be interesting to watch.
yeah. Let me see where Xavier Leggett went. He went to. He played college football for the 6th Street. Never played college football for the Gamecocks,
Oh, that's
South
South
Carolina.
Carolina. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I hadn't watched him play at all, so I didn't even know he was on the team to be honest. So yeah, that's going to be a good matchup. I think Diggs and Bland they're coming around. They play better. Anytime you see Bland coming up, making tackles like he does, that lets you know that he's kind of coming around. Diggs and Bland they're still kind of rusty because they didn't play every game last season. They're coming off injuries. So, but yeah, I think it's gonna be a good matchup with them and Tet. I don't know who their tight end is, but Rico. I think the last game was an outlier. I don't see him coming in doing you know that kind of thing about Rico is our defense is gonna be up for Rico. Anytime you playing a former player like they did with Micah, they're gonna come in with the idea of just shutting him down. And
Xavier Leggett has sucked this whole season.
oh, okay. So Ken said Okoye wasn't impressed. So with Shamar James. So here's the thing with Shamar James. He had 15 tackles last Sunday. So a lot of people were breaking it down. He was making a lot of tackles downfield, but the other thing he was doing, he wasn't filling the gaps. But what we found out is that he really didn't know he was playing until right before the game. So all of the linebackers, especially last Sunday, they were kind of put in a situation they really hadn't prepared for. So I still say you got to go with Shamar James and Leo Fowl. Just let them learn, and play. You can't. They moved up to draft Shamar James, which I question that move when it happened, but he's
I
on
was
your
just about to
team now, so you got to play him.
And I was just about to say, so look, check this out. And I seen that I seen the Koye video. It was on my timeline and it played while I was in the car. And I heard what he said. So check this out though, Ken. Like for real though, like Shamar James, like my dad just said, number one, we traded up and got him in the 5th round. Okay. So he's the equivalent of what's the cornerback name from last year? The cornerback that's on IR right now. This
Kalen
guy,
Carson.
he's the equivalent of a linebacker, Caleb Carson. These are 5th round players that nobody's heard of that they just reach out there and grab. Now, Shamar James, he was all right in college. I used to watch him. But the thing about these linebackers is these linebackers when you play a lot of cover two and you play a lot of cover three, number one, when you play cover two and cover three in the Tampa two defense like that, like they run, these linebackers don't do linebacker things. That's number one. They don't just play like back in the day, or like when you playing with a traditional defense, these linebackers they coming downhill. That's all they doing. They coming down here. They filling gaps. That's what they do. That's what they do. I mean, every now and then you might get a linebacker that cover a tight end. Every now and then, but for the most part, you got four down linemen. You got three linebackers, and you got what, four, seven, five DBs. So you don't have the DBs. The DBs are doing the coverage stuff, and the linebackers coming down here. You might have one that do some coverage stuff, but the way that these linebackers play in this system, they all be covering, and they all got too much stuff to do. It's just like we are so hard on what's homeboy name, Jack Sanborn. But to be honest, Jack Sanborn just don't know what he doing. Now he not an athlete. He not an athlete. But at the same time, he don't know what he doing. He be lost on every play, just like
Well,
Shamar James, just like Leo Fowl. They be guessing as to what they do, and when they do know what they do, they make good plays when they know what they doing. But half of the time they be confused. And you're gonna have, even if you have a linebacker that know what they doing, they gonna hit the wrong gap 40%
yeah.
of the time. So if
So
you
yeah,
hit the wrong gap and 40% of the time, and you don't know what you're doing, and you guessing on every play, you're not just playing natural, you're gonna look bad.
yeah, and then there all we have. So Shamar
Yeah.
James, he just has to play. There was a criticism that he, even on the coming downhill plays, they say he was avoiding offensive tackles. But that's kind of what happens. But yeah,
Yeah.
it is what it is. You don't have anybody else. You can't, and it's not Clark ain't the answer. So Leo Fowl and Shamar James are going to have to play. You're gonna live with the mistakes. They're gonna get better every week with practice. Eberflus is supposed to be a linebackers guru. I don't even know if I believe all of that, but bottom line is Shamar James is gonna be better this week than he was last Sunday. And when they play Washington, he's gonna be better. We know what Leo Fowl's gonna do. Now I heard one of the content creators I was listening to today. He said what he would do. He would put Leo Fowl at the mic and have Shamar James and Murray on the outside, and that kind of makes sense to me. Now, Leo Fowl is not a true mic, but again, you just working with what you have. So if you got to
I
put
don't know
Leo
about
Fowl at
that.
the mic,
I don't know
and,
about that.
and
I think about it like this. I don't know about that because it's just like, okay, now, but remember that. Let's just look at all the plays that Leo Fowl made, like the one he made last week against the Jets, right? If he was at the mic, that play wouldn't have happened. He would have been getting blocked.
he's not a mic, but you're just working with what you have. And the reason they're saying that he would be better at Mike is because he's going to diagnose probably better. He's quicker. He's probably just going to be more effective in the middle. But again, that's just somebody's opinion. We don't know what's going to work.
You know what I
Uh,
want to do? I want to put what's his name at the mic?
who?
Uh, uh, what's his
Murray?
name? Nah, from LSU. That shouldn't be playing at all. I'll put
Yeah,
him at the mic. So that way he would just have to be just in the middle of the field, just get, well, first of all, he can cover. And then second of all, he would just be in the middle of the field, just straight up getting toasted. He
you
would be
talking
in the
about
middle.
Damone Clark?
He'll be in the middle of the field getting toasted.
No,
He'll be
no.
in the middle of the field. He'll be taking up blocks. He'll be in the middle of the field getting double teamed by guards and centers, and it'll be like,
So Clark is basically the black version of Van Horn. He's just faster. Hey, B
he'll get
Bird.
hurt.
So no, it's
No,
that's
no,
not the answer.
I
You
was just
being
playing.
sarcastic.
I was, but
So bottom line is we have who we have, and they
yeah,
just gonna have to play. And then
yeah.
what needs to happen too? Clark, uh, Odigizua, and Mozzie need to play better against the run. They played good against the pass, but against the run, they were getting smoked.
They
Just
just need
watching it.
they need to trade for a linebacker.
We got to talk a lot of shows about whether we should or should not trade, who we trading for. What I'm gonna keep saying, I'm gonna say it on Friday's show with the OGs, B Bird and Big Time. My thing with Dallas trading, I'm fine with trading for uh, an edge, the one from the Raiders or whoever. I'm fine with trading for a linebacker. but I'm not fine with Stephen McClay and Jerry Jones making the trade because what they're going to do, they're going to get fleeced. Okay.
Yeah.
If this was the Ravens front office, the Chiefs front office doing these trades, I would be good. Not them.
The
They
only
get
way
fleeced every time.
the only way I'm okay with them getting fleeced is if they get fleeced for like a max type of player. Like if
What do
we
you
get like if we got like a first round type of player to fall back on and be like, oh yeah, well we
so
did give
like
up.
Max Crosby?
I would be yeah, I guess so. I wouldn't be for Max Crosby. Me personally, I wouldn't give up a one, but I know a lot of people would. So if we did
Yeah,
get
he's a
fleeced,
younger guy.
right, and he doesn't have a like, I don't think he has an injury history, but like him, and then like Jeffrey, what's his name, Simmons from the Titans.
Yeah, I'm not trading. If I trade for Simmons, they're not getting a one.
I don't know why, because he's better than Max Crosby at his position.
But yeah, he plays one. He's more like a one tech probably, and I just think that
But we keep saying that, but he is the best one tech,
I understand what you're saying. What you're
and he
saying, it makes perfect sense,
yeah.
especially if you didn't have Clark. But yeah,
No,
I got you.
this is what I was getting into with a guy on Reddit about. No, that's not what you do. This is about pushing Clark, and this is about pushing Clark and Osa down. That's what
I
this is
understand
about.
that. What I'm saying is, I would be fine with adding Simmons. They should have added Simmons when they was in training camp. But
Oh
my
yeah,
my my
yeah.
thing is with them, you understand that they have limited options and limited resources. So Simmons is just not a. I'm just being honest. They're not going to trade for Simmons. It's not happening. Now, would they trade for Hendrickson or Crosby? I think it's definitely possible.
Mike Fisher said neither one of those is possible.
Fish said they're not possible.
Yes, he said that Jeffrey Simmons is possible. He said Max Crosby and Henderson ain't
What
happening.
was his reasoning?
Well, he said his reasoning for Henderson not happening is because the Cowboys just got rid of Michael Parsons, and so what Henderson is going to ask for is going to be north of 30 or whatever the number that he's going to ask for is going to be too much for them to pay when they could have just paid Micah that. And then on top of that, he's only on a 1 year deal with Cincinnati right now. Plus, Cincinnati just traded for Joe Flacco, so Cincinnati's
That,
not
that's
giving
that's
up.
Hendrickson. So, but Crosby, what did he say about him?
So Crosby, he said that basically the same thing, that the Raiders is not going to give up Max Crosby. Whatever they would ask for would be way too much, uh, and that Max Crosby, the amount that what the Cowboys would trade for him, he doesn't bring that, and it's just straight up speculations from Cowboys fan point. Nobody in the front office has said anything about Max Crosby. As a matter of fact, he asked people in the front office about Max Crosby, and they said don't even ask. It's not happening.
Yeah. Okay. And so I think that's all realistic. I think it's realistic that they won't trade for Crosby or Hendricks. I also think it's not realistic they're gonna trade for a linebacker or Simmons. I just don't see it. Now, if they trade for Simmons, terrific player. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, but do I see them doing that? I just don't.
I'm
And
just going off back of what Mike Fisher said, but this is what B-Bird said. What does Simmons' contract look like? I'm finna show what Simmons' contract look like.
and if
Let's
they
take,
and if they trade for Simmons, terrific. And he's somebody
yeah,
that would be on the team for long term, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know that Clark will be. I don't look at Clark and say, he's going to be,
No, it
you
says
know,
Jeffrey Simmons is playing under a 4 year, $94 million contract extension with the Tennessee Titans signed in April of 2023, $24 million signing bonus, a deal running through the 2027 season. So yes, so
how
what that
much does he
means is,
make a year?
mm, it's 4 years, 94 million. So
I wouldn't have a problem. I wouldn't have a problem with Hendrick's son, Crosby, or Simmons. I just don't think they're going to do it. And
yeah, yeah, no, I hear you.
I don't know what linebackers are out there. Um, Again, my concern, B Bird, Jules, and
And
we're
look at
talking.
look how affordable he is. This is what you want to do. This is very affordable. You can pay him 17 million, and then you pay 20 million the next year, 23 the next year. You possibly give him an extension, the 27, and bring these numbers down. That's this is
Can
a
you pull up? Can you pull up Clark?
Kenny Clark.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the good
but yeah,
contract.
Jeffrey Simmons is the player you should have been trading for during camp. So he's
Absolutely
a
right.
great player.
No, you're right. So Kenny Clark is 8 million, 1 million, 1.3 this year, base salary 8.8 next year, and then 18 million in 2027. So they will
Okay.
extend him in 26 if they gonna keep
I
him.
mean, so it would make sense for them to have a Jeffrey Simmons and Clark, and that fits to me. So that would be. But again, my concern overall with Dallas guys, they're gonna do something like they did with Jonathan Mingo. Jerry was getting a lot of flack from the media and Cowboy fans, content creators too, about making a trade, and he just out of
No,
nowhere makes this trade for Jonathan Mingo and gives up a fourth round.
I'm gonna be
We
honest.
don't we don't need him to do that.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they're gonna do anything
Yeah, yeah,
because I think that when they start getting hit with okay, well, what about linebacker? They gonna say, well, we got Overshawn coming back. And
yeah.
then with the defensive line, they're gonna say we got a head we got a good defensive line, and I fully expect them to start getting pressure, coming up soon. So as soon as every time we have a good game like we did against the Jets and we got pressure, that just moves the needle of them trading for somebody on down the line. They just gonna say these guys, Jerry gonna say these guys just got to step up and we good. They gonna say stuff like Houston got 3 sacks and so does Micah. So they're gonna say stuff like that, and so
Now,
yeah,
boss
they did.
Cowboy. So boss, he's got a list that I've been watching. So he's got on his list. He's got Achan, Tony Pollard is on there.
They not
Um,
doing that. They not doing that.
Kamara. Now, here's where I'll push back on you.
They not
I
doing
think a Tony Pollard would absolutely be something they would do because they're not going to be giving up anything.
Well,
Somebody
you
like
gotta think
now, I
about it.
think Kamara's contract is not affordable.
Well, my thing is this: why would they do anything at the running back position when they have possibly somebody playing on an All Pro level?
I'm
They
gonna tell
wouldn't
you.
do
I'm
anything.
gonna tell you exactly why they should do it. Now,
They,
I'm saying if I was a GM, this is why I would do it because if he gets injured, you don't have a back. You don't.
they don't think that.
Well, I mean, I know what they think. I'm giving you my opinion. So they absolutely need to have a Tony Pollard or a Kamara. Achan, I think you know, price may be a little steep, but he was the number one pick. He was the number one player I would go after, and they could have. I looked this up today. I don't know if you remember this.
I
So
think
A
that. Oh, go ahead. Bet.
so Achan was drafted at the top of the third round.
Yeah.
So when we picked Schoon, he was there. I remember talking about Achan. We had him in the second round. They took Schoon,
Mm-hmm.
but he is bar none the type of back that you want to try to get. I
Bucky
like.
Herb.
I haven't seen Bucky Irvin is not being discussed as in the trade. We're talking about teams that are selling that
Yeah.
really. So you got the Saints, the
Mm-hmm.
Titans, the Bengals. They all going to be looking to just get rid of people. So Achan, have the Dolphins won a game?
They 1-4.
So again, he's somebody that I would be kicking the tires on.
Let me tell
I
y'all
haven't
this.
seen Tony Pollard.
I'm gonna tell boss this too. I'm gonna DM him and tell him this. Y'all want y'all cake and want to eat it too. Y'all think that the Cowboys is gonna trade for an offensive player? It ain't happening, fam. We need to focus on if we gonna have power as the media, as the new media, we got to put it out in the atmosphere, something that they'll do. Like literally, Max Crosby, that came from us. Nobody on the Cowboys side said anything about Max Crosby. It was all us. The same thing about Hendrickson. They haven't even mentioned Hendrickson, nothing. But it's all in the news because the new media, us, we're talking about it.
But was it the
So
same thing happening with Pickens before they traded for him?
no, because I was telling people that they was going to trade for a big time wide receiver. Because we was hearing that. Remember, we kept
Yeah.
hearing that. Remember on several shows, I was saying I think they're gonna do something big. We said that, and they did
But
something big.
But yeah, from a GM standpoint, if they were smart, they need to get another back because if Javante Williams gets injured, we're toast. We don't have another back, and it ain't Sanders. Blue is your developmental guy that needs to just kind of play a little bit, but we need somebody that when
Malik Davis.
we're getting ready to play the Eagles, the Chiefs. if Javante Williams has a hamstring or something,
I'm tell
if
you
you
what
got
y'all.
Devin Achan,
Hmm.
Pollard, or Kamara, I
That
think Kamara is a little steep.
that would be nice, but they're gonna put out Lukey and they're gonna put out homeboy from what's the name that was having a great preseason.
Malik Davis.
Phil Maffa.
Oh well, you probably look. You're probably right. I think at the end of the day, they're not gonna do a trade. We're just talking about what they should do.
Oh well, what they should do for sure, they should definitely get A Chain. They should definitely get Tony Pollard. They should definitely be look. Who's the Bengals backs?
I don't know who their backs
The
are.
Jets are 0-5. They should go get Brees Hall.
I would love Brees Hall, and Brees Hall is not going to cost a lot. So that's probably now that I think about it again, I kind of lost my list there. But Brees Hall is absolutely up there. He's the perfect backup for what we're doing.
Who is the Titans running back?
Well, Pollard is one,
Whew, that's gonna be a good move. Who is the Raiders running back?
but they drafted Genty. I don't know who their other back is.
Okay. Well, yeah,
Yeah, we need another back.
that's what you're looking at. But defensive, I'm trying to figure out what is the one or two moves that will make this team a contender because this team is like B Bird said, they are one or two players away.
It's the obvious answer is edge.
Yeah. And who would it be? Hendrickson, Max Crosby. We got to think about some other names. Nobody's talking about the Houston Texans edges. They got
Yeah,
edges.
yeah, but they're not. We're talking about teams that are just having a fire sale, and Houston's not. The edge from Miami, Bradley, is it Bradley Chubb?
Yep.
So he would be somebody that you got to look at. But
What about
to me, Crosby and Hendrickson, they're just kind of like in their own thing. They're in their own. They,
so
you
the
know, they good players, great players.
so the Giants not trading with us at all?
No, the Giants are not gonna. The Giants have taken so much heat for letting Barkley go to the Eagles. They're not gonna trade anybody of value to the Cowboys. They're not a fire sale team. We're talking about fire sale teams that are losing. They gotta get rid of players, and they trying to build, draft equity. So no, it's not the Giants. It's not gonna be the Texans. Texans. I don't even know what their record is, but they're in a sorry
Like
division.
they're like 1-4 or something like that.
They ain't looking good, but yeah, they're not going to trade. That's one of their best players. We saw. Let's see.
Nobody's talking about how I've been saying from the jump that the Eagles are going to collapse like they did a couple years ago, and nobody's talking about how they talking about they finna fire their offensive coordinator, and nobody's talking about how poorly their offense has been, and they're
Well,
just they're winning games, but it's just they're winning games that they supposed to win. They ain't really they ain't really like
well, they found themselves in a ball game on Sunday, and they ended up losing. So I believe what you've been saying. I'll agree with you on this. You've been saying from day one that Jalen Hurts is not a good quarterback. I've given him a credit because he's been to 2 Super Bowls.
Mhm.
He's got a ring, so I'm always give him his props for that. But
Me too.
he's not accurate. He doesn't throw a good ball. He wins. He's a winner.
Yeah,
You can argue that, but yeah, I think that we just gotta hold the fort. I think we can eventually catch them. I
Jalen
need to look
Hurts.
at their schedule too.
Jalen Hurts is just healthy. See, he just like Dak used to be like that. When Dak was like a tank, you know what I'm saying? Like Jalen Hurts is like a tank. You know what I'm saying? He just don't get. He healthy.
Yeah.
He's slow, but he'll get 15 yards on a scamper. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? And just run somebody over. He about that life.
what the Cowboys did Sunday with Justin Fields, and we're gonna go ahead and log out. So Justin Fields, the game plan they had Sunday, that was encouraging because for them to keep him at bay, that's what you're gonna have to do when you play the Eagles again. I watched Patrick Mahomes last night. Was it
Yeah.
Monday night?
Mm-hmm.
You got to play Patrick Mahomes just like he's Fields or Jalen Hurts. If you when you go into that Kansas City game on Thanksgiving, and we're kind of far away from that, the number one thing you're gonna have to do when you play Kansas City is keep Mahomes in the pocket. He just racks up tons of yards. because people just let him out. So if we can just do that, I like our chances in that game. His receivers, they're okay. In their defense, but yeah, I'm just looking ahead to that Thanksgiving game. We just have to stop him from running, and we can beat them. So let's go ahead and wrap. I gotta go back downstairs, and
All
we're
right,
we
y'all.
just we're just doing this to put a little content out there. B Bird, I saw your show that you did, your show. It was really good. I put a couple comments out there, so I'm looking forward to talking to you on Friday,
Yeah,
and we can check it. Our OG podcast is like a
it's
lot of
blowing.
people watching it.
Yeah, it's up there. It's a couple thousands now.
Yeah, so I don't think nobody's getting those kind of numbers now, unless I'm just looking at the numbers the wrong way.
No, nobody is really.
So we're gonna do
Well,
that.
nobody's getting them. And then also, well, I put it like this: nobody's getting them type of numbers on their first shows either. This is like y'all third time doing this. So nah, ain't nobody doing that.
Yeah. So we'll looking forward to that on Friday. But we can go ahead and wrap. We just want to get something out there and
Yeah,
just talk a little
guys,
bit about the Panthers.
it's gonna be one of them coaching games. This is we just figuring out who we are right now, and we're figuring out that we could be a pretty good team. If we
Yeah.
go out here and handle our business against the Panthers, and we get ready for that next week, and we handle up against them,
Well,
it's
that Commanders game, boy, it's gonna be
gonna be lit.
a nice early game that's gonna have some implications, and it's gonna be a playoff type game.
But see, the thing about this, thing about them is, I just see Dak just be, Dak is just on another level. So
Yeah.
they
I
can't,
watched I watched Washington Sunday. I kind of scouted them out. I mean,
they can't do
they
nothing with Dak.
okay. Well, we gonna see.
Yeah, they can't do nothing with Dak. A lot of people can't. You know what I'm
Well, we
saying?
finna find out. All
So,
right, we go ahead and log out and make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. And
and we'll
appreciate you guys for joining.
we'll see y'all Friday. We'll see y'all on the next one.